What's up, guys? What's up, guys? Here you go. It's Hambone again with another movie review. Doing mainly like movies I go and see at the movie theaters, but every now and then I'm probably going to do a movie like this, which is obviously you saw from the thumbnail at the very beginning there, the Tomorrow War. Some of these movies on like Netflix or Amazon, I'm going to give a look at here and there, and if I feel like I can do a decent review on it, probably going to do it. And very beginning here, if you can, like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you guys for all the support that we do get from anybody, from when we do these reviews to like when we do Schmodown content. Thank you guys for all the support. And here we go. We got Tomorrow War, which is a movie I didn't know if I was going to do a review on, but I watched it, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. Like, it did a little better than I thought. I have heard criticisms and everything about the movie as far as like it does kind of rehash some things that's happened in other movies. But guess what? Almost every movie that we've ever seen has been some kind of rehash of some tale that's been told before. Like, there's a lot of movies sometimes that I go and watch and I see, and it's like, oh, this is actually not the original. This is a remake of a movie that happened in the 70s or something like that. And that seems to happen a lot. It's like, for instance, like one not super recent, but one kind of recent was like I Am Legend. Like, that's actually a story that's been around for a while, and it was actually done as a story with Charlton Heston called The Omega Man. So like, and I didn't even know that until like later on. I'd watched I Am Legend, and it was like a few years after the fact that I found out that there was this other movie that was basically about, not basically, it was like on the same story, based on the same story. Of course, the movies are a little different. They're always going to be a little different, but in this movie, I found that it was different enough, right? Like, there were things that were similar to, like, say, Edge of Tomorrow or something like that, but I didn't think this was that bad of a movie for it being done on a streaming platform. I actually dug it pretty well. I don't know, like, what kind of budget. Amazon's got all the money in the world, so they could have threw millions of dollars at this. One thing I would probably do out of this review is go back and look and see, like, what kind of budget did they actually have to do this movie, because there were some cool things in this movie. But you basically have this ragtag group of guys right here, and girls, obviously, but that's his daughter, which is pretty cool. But like, so these aliens come down. Actually, to begin with, let's just start off at the very beginning. We have some like humans that come through this like weird looking portal during like a soccer match, and they say, hey, the world's going to end so and so, and we need all these people right here. We have found a way to come back in time, and we can send you to the future, and we need every human possible that could get out here to go up here and fight the good fight so that we can survive. Well, this was like a worldwide draft. So like every nation got together because they knew that we were going to die if we didn't. Like, that's just what it was. Like, our whole, all our grandkids, our kids and stuff like that wouldn't have lives because they would all be dead from these aliens invading, which is another thing that I thought was pretty cool. Right here was the actual creature design for the aliens. Like, they were just a little bit different. When I saw it in the preview first, I was like, oh, that looks similar to this and this. But then when you actually watch the movie and get to see them in full force, they were drastically different than what I thought from a lot of other movies and everything else. So like, and these things are hardcore. Like, they almost don't have any weaknesses. Only weaknesses they have if you blow their head off or if you can able to shoot them like in the midsection. But anyway, so these people, the ragtag group that I pulled up earlier, they go to try to save basically the world. Chris Pratt and and the characters beside him here. The lady right there next to him is his actual daughter, and which is kind of cool in the movie. She's only like 10, 11, or 12 at the very beginning of the movie. Then Chris Pratt gets drafted, and when he gets drafted, during that time, he goes off and he got to go spend a week. But when he goes into the future, he actually sees his daughter. She survived. She became like this big scientist that is actually trying to come up with a way of some kind of thing that they could use to like kill these creatures so that they don't actually kill the earth like it is told in the future. And so she's trying to stop that. She has her dad there. It was one of those things like the daddy issues. I saw some criticisms on the daddy issues and everything else in this movie, and I do agree a little bit. I think they're getting judged a little too harshly. I don't think that the daddy issues are that big of a thing. It is part of the story, but you know what? Guess what, guys? Like, almost all of us have, not all of us, but there's a decent amount of percentage of people that are affected by daddy issues. To be honest with you, man, like, that's one of the things that we see I try to be one that steps up and become like a great dad, try my best, but like there's a lot of times where the males of the species don't live up to expectations when it comes to fatherhood. And because of that, there's a lot of stories that are going to be written with that aspect in there, because the people that wrote the stories were probably affected, by their father not being there or not being a good father and what have you. So I understand it. It's going to be in a decent amount of stories. And I do understand some of the complaints, but I don't have any complaints with that. I'm fine with it. It is what it is. They're trying to get over their issues and stuff like that. And basically, Chris Pratt's character hated his dad because his dad like went off and basically left his family. And Chris Pratt didn't even want to give him a second chance or any of this stuff. He's only involved in the story, Chris Pratt's father, because like Chris Pratt needs a little bit of help. And, as the story goes on, Chris Pratt learns to like do a second chance, because when he goes to the future, his daughter lets him know he basically became, what he hated the most, which was his dad, because he ends up like, because of the trauma from going on this journey and stuff like that, he ends up like becoming a shell of himself and kind of getting away from his family and all that. So that's how kind of that backstory goes. But look, I didn't hate it, that part, but it was fine. I do think they like probably leaned into it a little too much. But overall, this movie's got some cool CGI. I liked how the aliens looked, like I said before. I liked how they set up the world. Like when they go into the future, there's basically like this last ditch effort, in this little small community. It basically built this thing over water to try to help protect them. There's basically like this big, huge ship thing that they kind of put together for like this little like scientific research facility. And overall, I think I'm going to give this one right here a 6, just right above a 5, which I gave the Forever Purge a 5. I'm going to give this one right here a 6, because I think it's more than I expected. It's not the greatest movie of all time. These stories have been done before. But you know what? Like, it was a surprise. I turned it on, flipped it on. Didn't really mean to like get that much entertainment. I was just like giving it a chance. And then like I kept watching the movie. So that's actually pretty good, right? Like most of the time you do that, you turn it off like the first 10 minutes. But this movie, I kept watching it because it was good enough to watch it. I actually recommend anybody out there, even though I'm not giving it this super high grade, I'm not like going, 8s or 9s on this movie. No, I'm giving it a 6, which is above average. And I do think people should watch it and see what they think about it. Like I said, if you watch this movie, leave your comments down below on like if you agree with me, like if you think the movie's better than what I think it is, like go ahead, dude. Like it's open for debate, right? Like everybody likes their stuff and likes what they like. Obviously like Star Wars or Game of Thrones, but not everybody's a fan of that. There's a lot of fans of that, but not everybody's a fan of that. But it's cool to get in those kind of discussions, like why didn't you like it, or why did you like it better than I did, and that kind of thing. And just because you give something like a 6 doesn't mean I hate the movie. Like I've said before, my grading system is 1 through 10 because I'm not scared. A lot of people stop doing that, but I don't care. And 5 to me is like I'm lukewarm. I'm right in the middle there. I'm not like for it. I'm not against it. It was an okay movie. Anything above that 5 means that I like it, all the way up to love. And then obviously on the backside of that is I had major issues with the film in most cases and everything else, like my Fast and the Furious review where I gave it a 3. I found myself eye rolling more than I laughed. And in a movie like that, I got to laugh more than the eye roll. And that just wasn't the case. But this movie, The Tomorrow War, was a little bit more than I expected. Not the greatest movie of all time. If I wanted to watch a movie like this, I would go back and watch Edge of Tomorrow before I pick up to The Tomorrow War. But if I were to walk into a friend's house and they were like, "Hey, I'm thinking about watching The Tomorrow War. You want to tag in?" I would sit right next to them and see what their reaction was, because it wasn't a bad movie, maybe not a great movie, but it's a movie worth watching, and it's worth watching with friends. It's worth watching on your own. So give it a chance, guys. Like go out there and like I said, tell me what you think. Put it in the comments below and all that stuff, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you can. And until next time, peace.